Hi, and welcome to Cover Brand, where we cover all things branding, marketing, and advertising to help you understand what the hell branding is and how it works to grow your business. Welcome and welcome back. I'm Ethan Decker. Today on the show, I have Chris Kelly. How are you, Chris?
I am wonderful.
The
How are
sky,
you?
I'm good. I'm good. The sky looks so clear from where I'm
Yes,
sitting. Where are you today?
I am sitting in Dallas, Texas.
But are you actually outside?
I am not outside. But this is what it looks like outside currently.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I did want that at some point to have one of those ceilings that's like Harry Potter,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
where it shows what's happening on the outside. That would be so great.
I love living in the future. I'm sure that will happen soon.
Yes, or a totally alternate reality where it's just actual magic and not technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You wanted to talk about cover songs first. I know you were excited about a cover song you had.
Yes. So I discovered this, I don't know how, but I came across Justin Crumb, and he did a cover of Alanis Morissette's Uninvited.
Okay, who's Brian Justin Crumb?
So he is a former Broadway star who
Okay.
turned to pop star. And I always love that combination because I feel like Broadway people bring an extra pizzazz to the pop songs. And that is what he has done with this song. Most definitely. It is fantastic.
You are a musicals person as well.
I am.
Person after my own heart.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, the musical flair, the musical uh, extra zhuzh, you
Right.
might say. Now, Alanis Morissette, that was a popular song, but she's a deep cut at this point. She's not very popular anymore, is she?
Yeah, unfortunately.
But that
And she
song
had a
on
Broadway show as well, made out of her
that's right,
music, and that did
right,
well. So I think she's probably off in different projects currently.
right. I heard that she had two mediocre albums to start her career, and her label dropped her.
Oh, I
And
didn't
then she,
realize they
and then
dropped.
she got picked up by a different label and released Jagged Little Pill, which was a multi-platinum global massive success.
Oh, I love a good comeback story.
It's one of those where on the one hand, you just know it takes the reps. It takes multiple albums to get a great one. But on the other hand, you never know which one's going to hit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's for her and it's for the label. They both were probably not sure what was going to blow up like that. So then Uninvited was a track that she did after Jagged Little Pill, right?
Correct.
And it's kind of spooky and eerie.
Hmm.
And then what did Brian do to it?
He starts out very spooky and eerie as well, but then
Mm,
slowly builds and builds and builds momentum. And by the end, you are just rocking out with him. You can't
mm,
help but get excited. It's
mm.
so well done. I love it.
Okay. So Brian Justin Crumb,
Yes.
Uninvited, the cover of the Alanis Morissette hit from the 90s.
Yes.
Okay. Cue that up, listeners, all you out
Right.
there. That's your break in between listening to podcasts
Yes.
because you need something between me and Ezra Klein.
Yes. Little palate cleanser.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk branding. Let's cover some brand and marketing things.
Yes.
Tell the fine listeners about your situation, your business, and what you're up against.
Yeah, absolutely. So I work for a marketing agency. We are largely owned and earned media driven, so creative, and I work in the data portion. So I am the one that brand you kind of connects brand data with strategy and bringing that
Okay.
intelligence to the table, making sure everything's data driven. And
Mm,
one of the problems that we have quite often is that brands are looking for that shiny piece of data that they've heard
mm,
about, read about, listened to, and they bring that to us. And it's our job to help steer them in the right direction to understand what data points they should be looking, what data points they should not. Vanity metrics come to mind
uh,
here. And I just wanted to
yes.
get your perspective on how to handle those.
Okay. So vanity metrics, things like number of impressions or number of mentions in media or social media,
Right.
right? And then challenging metrics like ROI or ROAS, which is the return on ad spend, or
Absolutely.
sales lift or lift. What would they call it? Brand lift. I
Brand
think
lift.
I've seen
Yeah.
the metric within
Hmm.
platforms like Meta. Yeah, lots and lots, hundreds of metrics, as you know.
Yes.
Um, and a lot of them can be distracting from what matters. So I've been working on a thing which might be helpful because what you're struggling with is probably not the facts. You are a data whiz. You understand the difference between shit and shinola when it comes to metrics.
Exactly.
But it's getting others to get off the vanity metrics or get off the exciting and enticing daily numbers you can get and look at the stuff that matters more. And
Exactly.
so for that, that's a psychological issue. That's there's not a lot of data that will help solve the data problem, so to speak. So I've been working on a new thing I call the data grid. It's a terrible name. Maybe you can help me with the name. But it's kind of a 2 by 2. It's a really simple matrix. If you remember Stephen Covey's 7 habits matrix of what's important versus unimportant on the
Right.
left and the right, and then the top and the bottom were what's urgent versus not urgent.
Hmm.
And you want to do the important stuff, not the unimportant. And you want to do the not urgent. You want to stay out of the urgent bucket, even though you're always drawn into it, right? You
Yes.
know that one.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like that, except on the left and the right, you've got let's see, what is it? I have to remember it. You've got whether things are hard to measure or easy to measure. And
Okay.
then on the top and the bottom, you've got things that are useful versus things that are useless. So for instance, easy to measure and useful might be something like your sales figures. You have those rolling in, you can track those, you know those. That's an easy to measure but useful thing. A hard to measure, and by the way, I'm trying to nickname these, so tell me if these make sense.
Okay.
Easy to measure and useful, I'm just calling them tools.
I like it.
They're everyday tools that you should have on hand. What are your
Hmm.
daily sales figure? What are your daily um, closure rates, et cetera, et cetera. Then hard to measure but useful are things like how strong are your distinctive assets, or what's your overall brand image currently. You know, what do people think of you, or what's your awareness level? What's their brand awareness level?
Right.
So those are a little harder to measure, but they're useful. And people tend to just kind of ignore those because they're hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of like exercise. If you're not really into it and you're not addicted to it, then it's just kind of hard and you just kind of want it to go away. So then at the bottom, you've got things that are useless. Oh, by the way, the ones that are hard to measure but useful, I'm calling treasures.
Okay.
You know, they're you got
Yeah.
to dig for them,
I like the
but they're
alliteration.
really, really valuable.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the alliteration. Tools,
Tools.
easy
Okay.
to measure but useful. Treasures are hard to measure but useful. And then at the bottom, you've got things that are easy to measure but are useless. And I'm calling these traps because they trap you and trap all your time. And things like vanity metrics, right? Things like social media buzz or impressions.
Hmm.
I'm sure you know a few,
Oh,
the
yeah.
really the easy ones that just trap you and trap you like a little ant trap. And there you are, stuck to your stupid measures that aren't useful. And then in the final corner are the teases, because usually you don't do them because they're hard to do, but they're also a waste. They're useless. And so the teases are things like really complex segmentations where you've got 9 different segments of your market, and it's
Mm.
really hard and expensive to do that to begin with, and then it's kind of useless
Yeah.
because you end up just with one ad anyway. or
Yeah.
or 2 campaigns, your primary target and your secondary target, and you don't need 9 segments.
Yeah. And I feel
um,
like so often people get trapped in that world as well.
they can, yes, it's true, they can get trapped there. I call those teases though just because they're they're a little more out of reach for most people, but the traps are the one I think are just easy
Yeah.
but useless.
Yeah.
The challenge you're having is how to get people out of the traps and off the teases, and how do you get them to focus on the treasures and the tools,
Yes.
right? Yeah, that's hard. One thing I like to say is when trying to persuade someone, you never want to paint them into a corner. You never want to back them into a corner and make them feel like they're dumb or they're going to lose. You want to make them the hero
Mm.
and give them a win. So even something like vanity metrics, you said at the top. Think about the connotation there is that you're vain because you're looking at them. And if you can serve that up so it's clear that you understand that person is not vain and only vain people would follow these metrics, then it's kind of a win. It's an ego boost to say, oh, you're not vain, you're better than that, and that's why you should look at these other metrics. But it's about the psychology of figuring out what they aspire towards. So, for instance, imagine a client. Just pick one in your mind
Mm-hmm.
and give me a fictional name for that client to protect the innocent.
Yeah. Jennifer.
Jennifer. So, what's one of the things that Jennifer is addicted to when it comes to metrics? That's not very useful.
Impressions and follower count.
Okay, impressions and follower count. And what do you want to get her onto instead?
Engagement
Mm-hmm.
and conversation shares the things that actually drive further brand love.
Okay, so from let's say follower count to shares,
Mm-hmm.
to simplify it a little bit.
Right.
Jennifer is addicted to follower count, and she should be looking at shares. So what you want to do is you want to get inside Jennifer's brain and say, who does she admire, or who does she look up to, or what kind of person does she aspire to be? So do you have any thoughts of that?
Yes, I'm trying to anonymize it. Let's say
That's okay.
just large brands that understand. So I'm largely speaking of social media
Okay.
and large brands that are doing it correctly in their correct brand voice, as you say,
Right.
and making sure they have that consistent, not just following any meme that's out there, but really thinking purposefully about
Okay.
their brand and where they're going and the
Okay.
conversations they want to have with their followers.
Okay. So I'll pick one arbitrarily. Everyone always picks Apple. We're not going to pick Apple. Screw that. We're going to say, who gives a crap? The toilet paper brand.
Yeah.
It's made out of bamboo. It's mostly direct to consumer, but now it's actually leaping into retail grocery sales. So who gives a crap? They have a strong mission. They have a strong point of view, a strong brand, a good offering, and a clear voice, right, on social.
Right.
And so if Jennifer looks up to them and admires them, then you want to point to them and say, look, who gives a crap? These are their KPIs. Things like things like engagement, things like closure of deals, or things like openings of new regions. And they don't look at things like follower count or impressions.
Right.
So you might even make up a little bit of that just to soften the blow, but to show Jennifer that a brand that she admires is doing X instead of Y
Right.
is a nice way to give her a win and say, oh, you want to be more like who gives a crap? Then let's really track our engagement and let's stop looking so much at impressions. So that's one thought. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Find a great role model and say, be like that role model. Let's just copy their playbook.
Yeah.
Um, and then another one I think is I'm a big fan, as you know, I'm a big fan of playfulness, because
Yes.
I think playfulness helps take the pressure out of business and out of situations, because when situations become pressurized and pressure cookers, it's too intense and people can't change. People
Mm-hmm.
can't hear something new. I know it firsthand from dealing with my own kids, for instance. And you probably do too, right? You've got some
Yep.
kids. That a little bit of humor can go a long way, or a
Yeah.
little bit of playfulness to depressurize a situation. So if you can depressurize a situation with Jennifer and start talking about vanity metrics in a funny term, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what that term would be. Maybe it is traps and what's my other term for it?
The traps
Um,
and teases.
Teases. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
like they're teases, and then come up with a nickname for it, like, oh, it's the Fabio of metrics.
Love it.
And blow the hair.
Yeah.
Literally get a hair dryer out or a
Get a
little air
gift
blower.
going. And
When the hair is moving and you're like, come to me, Jennifer. Come look at my daily impressions. And it's silly, but
yeah.
it's a way to address the issue, but in a way that's safe for her and gives her a win
And memorable.
and
Mm-hmm.
memorable. And then the next morning when she's about to log in and look at impressions, what's in her mind but Fabio?
Fabio.
And all this is to say that, and I don't know how much you do this, Chris, but it's using the psychological tricks, you could say, or just
Right.
the reality of the fact that we're humans
Hmm.
in our client relationships, as opposed to just when it comes to building our brand and selling our brand to consumers.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm guessing that's not a common thing in your world.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's here and there, but it's enough of an issue that I think it would be helpful for others to listen to and hear about. And I love the framework that you've suggested. I think I'm definitely going to steal that, but I will give you credit.
Okay. I'll send you the art for it, and I'll make sure to post it with this episode so you can
Yeah,
actually see
perfect.
what it is, and if it looks like it's more credible coming from a brand science organization and
I'll use
it's
it.
got names,
I'm here
then
for that.
show it to Jennifer, and you're like,
Yeah.
look, these people suggest this, and they work with Whirlpool and Lazy Boy and Procter and Gamble. You know, and I don't actually work with
Name
who gives a
drop.
crap.
I'm for it.
Yeah, name drop, name drop. Um, and so I think that, because again, you're a data person and a numbers person, and you're
Yes.
dealing with someone who's a data person or working with data and numbers. The default is always to think more data and numbers will persuade people,
Right.
and I think that's where we give ourselves short shrift. Is that we are only using one tool, and it's not the best tool to actually persuade our clients.
Yeah.
And there are better tools that feel a little weird to use, like humor or Fabio or fans. Um, but those are the things, the psychological things that actually help persuade, even if the topic itself is data and facts.
Yeah.
It's kind of a paradox.
Yes. Brilliant.
Does it make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
Do you think it would help with Jennifer?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
We will see. I will report back.
Oh, good. No, I would love that. You need to let me know, regardless of whether it's on air or off air.
Right. I
I
will.
would love to hear the results. But it's a very common thing. I'm glad you brought the question to me, because anyone in marketing, but especially people who deal with data and numbers,
Yeah.
tend to think the solution is more data. And the solution, as Rory Sutherland often says, you can look him up later if you don't know of him. Rory Sutherland often says it's a psychological problem and they need psychological solutions,
Very
not
good.
facts or more engineering.
Love it.
Great. Well, I hope it helps. Good luck
Thank you.
getting weaning Jennifer off of bad metrics and onto good ones.
Yes.
And then, I also look forward to hearing what other fun ways you have figuring out to do that with people
Yeah.
beyond
We'll
Jennifer.
get the conversation going again.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
You're welcome. Enjoy the skies of Texas.
Yes. Always.
Bye.
Bye.